Good morning. I was gonna see if, for one, they let me tag some people. It did the same thing in my group, but it let me tag a few people. Okay. It's okay. It's all right. Yesterday we saw the same thing. It's okay, Facebook. I ain't mad. I'm not mad at all. Today's Feel Good Friday. Feel Good Friday. I just did a live in my God Bodies community, and I figured, you know what? I have so much overflow. Let me overflow. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can get a couple people on here. Of course, when you receive this message, you receive the message. It's for you at that time. I'm not attached to time, and I'm not attached to if people show in the moment, because it's not about man's external validation. My witness is in the spirit, and so you guys gonna get this message regardless. Okay, regardless. Okay, regardless. Okay. It's Feel Good Friday, man, and I cannot express enough how I'm really feeling. The word I want to use is powerful. Good is good is good. Yes, good is good. Good is very, very good. To feel good, the word we're using today too is privilege. Okay, so to feel good is a privilege. All right, to feel good is a privilege, and I realize that not everyone feels good, and so I definitely want to acknowledge that. I am so happy and grateful that, and I am so happy and grateful and privileged to feel good, and I feel immensely good. Okay, and on top of that, this is that overflow. I feel powerful. I feel so powerful, and I realize too that feeling powerful is privileged. Okay, like I'm privileged to be able to feel powerful. I'm privileged to be powerful. Okay, I'm privileged to be powerful. That's me acknowledging that I'm powerful. That's me acknowledging that the power lives in me. Hello. Welcome to the live. I'm not sure who's on because Facebook been doing. She like, baby, look, I'm coming to the overflow. Okay, come to the overflow. Okay, share the live for me, Tisha, because I can't see. I mean, it's not allowing me. Let me say that word. It's not allowing me to tag people, and also I can't see like, you know, as people are joining. I'm grateful that I'm able to see you. But if you will, can you share this live for me so I can get this message out to more people? All right, because God is just overflowing in me. I definitely feel like it's a word. Okay, we're in the overflow right now. So as I was just mentioning, I am feeling this immense power, and this power, right, is definitely the overflow. I was just speaking in my group about affirmations, and my affirmations have been, I am so happy and grateful that, right? And this morning we added to that affirmation, I am so happy and grateful and privileged. Yes. And the overflow is, and I am powerful. Okay, and I am powerful. And again, I realize that power is something that, ooh, God, okay. Power is something that if you don't know, if you don't know that you have it, you will fumble it because you don't know you have it. You don't know that you have power. And when you don't know that you have power, you're not intentioning. Your ability to manifest is there's no power behind the words that you use. And when, ooh, God, okay, it's coming in hot. It's coming in hot. Thank you, Father God. To God be the glory. Okay, listen. When we speak, and this is something that I was speaking about in our group. If when we speak and we speak words, right? Words we speaking words, we not understanding the power of our words, we say things, right? And so in our saying of things, we feel like it's just landing, you know, it's like words landing on concrete. But once you understand the power of your word, you become more intentional about your word. You become more specific about your word. You become more aware of your word. You become more conscious of your word. And that in itself is power, because now you're giving power to your word. You're attaching a belief to the word. You're attaching a belief to the word. Right? So when we say I am powerful, there's this, when we first start with affirmation in itself, it's an ability for us to reprogram our mind. It's like we have an opportunity. Good morning, Serzi. It's an opportunity, if you will. I was just sharing. I'm not able to share or like tag people for whatever reason. If you will, share this message for me. Share, so I can get the message out. God is in overflow right now. So I was saying about power, and thank you so much for you guys that are sharing it. I really appreciate you doing that for me. I really appreciate you. So speaking about power, so the power behind our words is really what manifests the word in flesh. Okay. So when we speak about our affirmations, when I first started with affirmations, when I'm like, I am happy, I am grateful, I am love, I am kind, I am grateful. Okay. I am a motivation. This was actually one of my affirmations. I am a motivational speaker. I am powerful. Thank you very much. I am powerful. I am a leader. I am a millionaire. I am an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. I'm an author. I really am. I'm an author. Okay. I am a world-renowned spiritual life coach. I really am. Okay. I really am. Okay. And so these are things I used to affirm to myself, but I'll be honest with you, in that time when I was affirming them, they were things that I aspired. Right? We affirm the things that we aspire. And we were also talking about the word desire today. Okay. So we affirm the things that we aspire. Right? But when you believe it, when you believe the word that you're saying, you put the power behind it, then you act as if, because you are. There's the difference. So when we say words, let's be clear here. When we're saying words, do you believe them? And then now let's also get into when you're saying what you're saying. When you're saying what you're saying, what you want it to manifest. What you're saying, do you want it to manifest? The words that you're using, do you want it to manifest? If it's a yes, now do you believe it? Do you believe it? All right. And now I'm gonna stretch you a little further, because seeing is believing. If you are saying it and you believe it, and then you are not actually living as if, then you are not making the word flesh. That's what manifestation means, to make the word flesh. So you have to believe it, act as if. Believing it is acting as if. Acting as if. It's to embody it. Seeing is believing. It's to embody it, right? So understanding the power of your word, understanding that when you use the word, is it something you want to manifest? And if it's not, then you definitely want to change your language. Let's change our language. Whatever follows I am is the truth, whether good or bad, right? And so the word I've used today is I am privileged. I am privileged. I am privileged. And privilege is an abundant mindset. Privilege is an abundant lifestyle. Privileged is a deserving, worthy, valued lifestyle. It's desired. We desire privilege. We want the best of the best. We want top tier, top notch, get the most, not the lesser. Okay. We want that. Okay. We want that. We see luxury. We see high price, fine things in life. And we're like, I want that for myself. And if you say that you don't, you lie. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. The truth ain't in you. Something else is. Okay. And I rebuke it. Okay. I say this because once you get real with yourself about what you really want in life, then you'll really be able to change your languaging so you can become that, so you can flesh it. You can manifest it by the power of your word. When God gave us word, when he gave us the ability to speak, that in itself is power. That in itself is privilege. He gave you the tool to create. The power. But if you don't realize that you have that power, if you don't realize the power of your words, if you don't realize the power of your intention behind the word, If you just saying just to be saying, then you're just saying and it's just falling on concrete. You're wasting the word. You're wasting God. Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that. You're wasting what he's giving you. You're wasting a tool that he's giving you for you to create your life, the life that you desire, the life that he intentioned for you. Now, I'm also going to say to you this. Hear me. God has a will for your life. He purposed you. Okay? He purposed you. He purposed you, and if you go into the Bible, you'll see that you're already in there, and this Bible was here way before you got here, so it should let you know that he wanted you here, and he wanted you here for a reason. There's something you are meant to do. Okay? And so what you're figuring out is that what is it to do? What is it that I'm to do? That's what you're figuring out. What is it that I'm to do? So when I spoke a moment ago about, there are things in life that you desire. There are things in life that you want. There are things in life that you've gotten a glimpse of it. You're like, okay, I saw this, or something flashes on TV, or you see that someone else has something, or you see that whatever it is, however you discover the something, you're like, it sets something off for you. It's a trigger of sorts. It's like, ooh, I want that. Have you ever thought that maybe that's a part of the destiny? Maybe that's a part of what's in your heart? That's like God saying, hi. Check the mic. 1 2 1 2. Yes? When I say the desire, okay? When you realize that your desires also want you, what you want wants you, what you want wants you. Put it in the group. Put it in the chat. What I want wants me. What I want wants me. Say it with me. What I want wants me. What I want wants me. What I want wants. Say it in the group. Say it in the chat. When you realize that those desires he's put in your heart for a reason, and yes, he wants to give them to you, but first you must seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all things shall be added unto you. He wants to give it to you, but he says you got to come to me first, though. And in order for us to be able to go to God first, we have to purify our heart. When you sit to the altar, you have to be purified. He wants you fresh. He wants you fresh. He wants you fresh and clear and pure. Yes? So he can truly, what's the word we want to use? Reveal the power in you. So less of you and more of him. Less of you and more of him. And how do we do that? How do we become less of us and more of him? We also understand that our desires, listen, we also understand that our desires can be our distractions because we too busy trying to get them our way rather than allowing him to give them to us his way. Okay? So easily, the very thing that he's put in your heart, to give you vision, to give you purpose, to give you an idea of the life that he wants you to have, can also become the distraction. Because you're yet to go to him first. It's not that he don't want to give it to you. He wants to give it to you. Matter of fact, he gonna give it to you, but you got to come to him first. Because when you, when you're doing it the other way, because the other way is technically the way of the world, right? Like that's when you're in the flesh. It's like you're going for the material world. You're going for the things, is what I'd say, rather than the fruits of the Spirit. When you're going for God, you're going for the fruits of the Spirit. And what are the fruits of the Spirit? The fruit of the Spirit is patience, joy, happiness, love, yes, honor, yes, faith, all those things, which at the beginning of this live, what I said was, I feel so good. Those are good feelings. Those are good feelings. All those things feel good. They feel good. And in order for us to be able to attract the highest thing, the abundant things, you have to be in a space of abundance. And those things are abundant things. Love is abundant. You can't cage in love. What they do that? Faith is abundant. You can't cage in faith. That's why they say it's either faith or fear. They cannot coexist. They don't go together. Yes? Patience is abundance. When you have it, you are able to slow down. You understand that time is on your side. Yes? Kindness, when you have kindness, it's abundant. You can give it. It's that was, one of my things. I'll tell you now, I'm a very kind person. Okay? I pay strangers in compliments. I'm kind. Okay? When you have those kind of things, when you have those characteristics, anything will be drawn to you. Everything will be drawn to you. What I want wants me. Because people are like, oh my God, you feel good. Things are like, oh my God, you feel good. Oh my God, it feels so good to be, in your presence. It wants to be with you. Yes? So when we seek God, what we're seeking are those characteristics. What we're seeking are those virtues. Yes? And then all things are added unto us. But when we go for the desire first, we're distracted. We're like, oh, I want that job. Or rather, I want that car. I'm going to go do whatever's necessary, however it look, you know what I'm saying? And whatever it is that you decide to do could be stressful as hell, but all you thinking about is how you going to look in that car, how you going to look in that nice bag, how you going to look in them clothes, how you going to look when you show up on the scene, how you going to look, what they going to think about you. Them people going to be like, oh my gosh, she doing a damn thing. You're in the world, you're worried about men's validation, you're seeking external validation. And that's stressful. Because the quickest that man can hosanna you and put you on a pedestal, they will knock you down. The minute that they don't like something that you do, you are not their friend. Okay? So those desires so quickly can become a distraction and can become a deterrent. Because you weren't seeking God by way. You weren't, your intention behind it wasn't for God's glory. Your intention behind it was for man's external validation. You need somebody to clap for you. What you fail to realize is that God been clapping for you. He wrote about you before you got here. All praise be to him. I want God to be my witness. God is my witness. Yes? Yes. And the way that you know, right? Let's just be clear here. It's how people feel. How you make people feel. How you make people feel. How do people feel when they're with you? Do they feel free? Do they feel intimidated? And let me also say, sometimes people being intimidated by you ain't you. It's a trigger for them. It's an expression. It's showing them where within themselves, you know what I mean? Something like, But how you make another person feel, it says a lot about you. It says a lot about you. Not what you wearing, not what you driving. You know what I'm saying? Not not what it look like when you show up, boo-boo. but how you make them feel. That's your power. So if you are still not understanding how powerful you are because you don't yet understand how you yourself feel, you can understand how you fumble in that bag. Don't avoid your emotions. Don't avoid how you feel, because you can't be powerful until you tap into your own feelings, so you can really understand how to make another feel. Right? I was saying in God Bodies, like, oh my God. Guys, listen. This is the most I've ever wanted myself in my life. This is the most I've ever wanted I want me. I want me. Do you know what I mean when I say I want me? I want me. I desire me. I love everything about me. Everything. How I processed, how I move. You understand? How I show up, y'all. How I make myself feel. What I tell myself. What I feel for myself. How I treat myself. This morning I massaged my feet. This morning I massaged my feet. Good morning. This morning I massaged my feet. I was like, this is what Jesus was doing to the disciples. He was washing their feet. Oh, how the honor. You understand? Loving myself so I can know how to love another person. And not just that, but also to know how it feels when somebody don't love me. Like, so you can understand how to teach people how to treat you. And if they can't meet up where you are, you know what I'm saying? If they can't measure the love that you have for yourself, if they can't measure up to that, remember, it's a privilege to be you. It's a privilege to be in your presence. It's a privilege. And privilege is exclusive. Privilege is top ranking. It's desired. But it doesn't mean that everybody has access to it. That's why it's called privilege. But you got to start treating you like you privileged. Like you're the privilege. Like I'm the gift. Exactly. Loving yourself so you can love another person. Because you can only receive someone at the level that you've received yourself. That's why and I say this because, and I just said this in God Bodies, it's important for us not to condemn people, not to judge people, because people themselves they can only receive you at the level they've received themselves. So it's important that you meet people where they are. Not judge them, not condemn them, but realize that their cup is full. So anything you try to pour in, they can't contain it. And so if you try to pour, it's not their fault that you didn't discern that they ain't got enough room for you. Taking responsibility for that. That's your heart that you just pouring. You just pouring, girl. I ain't got no room. I ain't got no room. Right? And then we'll get frustrated. We'll be upset. We'll be disappointed. We're like, oh my God, I gave this person my all and they was just they fumbled my heart. Baby, it's not them, it's you. You didn't realize that person didn't have the capacity to love you at the level in which you needed to be loved, because they themselves are so full of themselves. And that's okay. Meet them where they are. Take back your power. It's yours. You're giving it away. You're playing victim. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't no victim here in privilege. Privilege don't know victim. You understand? Privilege is royalty. You understand? So you move a little bit more gracefully. You move a little more discerning, a little more intentional. Because you understand your worth. You understand your value. Yes? And you just meet people where they are. And that's called loving. That's called love. That's how we love. Yes? So, I mean, I'm just saying all of this because, like I said, today I love myself as much as I've ever loved myself. And not only that, I realize how privileged I am. And with that privilege, I understand that I am attracting so much privilege. I'm attracting so much privilege. I'm attracting so much desire, not just because I myself am desired, but because I understand that God desires me. And not only does God desires me, he desires me to have all my heart's desires, because I went to God first, because I'm relying on him to be my Abba, my Father, to do what he says he's gonna do. Can't nobody make God a liar. And the one that tried is a liar. Which is why we need Jesus Christ, who saved us from our sin. Okay? If you don't have a relationship with Christ, I can understand why this will go over your head. Okay? But that's the person, that's the spirit that's knocking on your door. That's the spirit that's saying, hey, you are desired. But the only way through my Father is only way to my Father is through me. And you can have everything you want, but you gotta see me first though, bruh. You got to see me first. Yes. Yes. So I'm just in love. I'm just in love. If there's no other word for it, I am in love. I am in love. I'm in love with life, man. I'm in love with Christ. I'm in love with God. I'm in love with myself. This is the most in love I've ever been in my life. This may sound totally absurd to some people, but you can never truly be in love with another person until you are in love with yourself. Because there's no such thing, I believe, as falling in love. You have to be in love in order for you to attract love. It just is what it is. Like attracts life. Like attracts like. And so you have to be love in order to attract love. You have to be it. Just like you have to be privileged in order for you to attract privilege. Yes? And I'm going to always refer back to this, guys. If you guys have not been paying attention, I have been screaming from the top of my lungs to go and listen to Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command. All right. And in there, he makes this analogy. And it's so true, right? Like if you guys have ever watched Titanic, he speaks about in the movie where each class, you notice they never mingle with each other. You notice that they only speak amongst their class. So the lower class is with the lower class, the middle class is with the middle class, and the upper class is with the upper class, and they don't converse outside of that. And that's what I mean when I say in order for you to attract a certain level, you have to be at that level, because that's the level in which you can meet that person or meet that thing. Like attracts like. Right? So me loving means that I'm attracting love. What you're putting out there in the world. If you're hating, you understand? Then you get hate. If you're bitter, you're bitter. And if you're bitter, you're going to get bitterness. If you understand, y'all, I know y'all are getting what I'm putting out there. So I challenge us all today to be love. To be in love, and to be in love with life, and to be in love with God, to be in love with Jesus, to be in love with your process, to be in love with everything about you. The good and the bad, because God doesn't make anything wrong. God doesn't make error. He uses everything. Everything that I could have ever thought in my past that was a bad thing, God has shown me, flipped it on his head and said, no, boo-boo. Everything has intention and purpose, and there was always a miracle. I am using you in every trespass as a witness to the power of God. So when I say that God uses me, I mean it. Living witness. I'm a witness to God. I'm a witness to Christ. Yes. So knowing and understanding that, don't look at anything that your afflictions or the things that you're going through or that you've been through as bad things. They're not bad things. They were opportunities, and they were opportunities for God to use you. Start speaking about it. I just spoke about the power of your word. Start speaking life from it. Because in this time right now, people need to understand and people need to know that they've survived 100% of their bad days. You've survived it. You're still here. That is privilege. Did it take you out? Are you somewhere in the dead, in the grave? No, you are here. You are privileged. You are breathing. You are privileged. You got up this morning. You are privileged. You can see. You are privileged. You can speak. You are privileged. You can hear. You are privileged. You can walk, you are privileged. You have limbs that are vessels for use, tools, you are privileged. You got a brain, you can think, you are privileged. You got a heart, you can feel, you privileged. You understand? You are privileged. So speaking life into where you are right now and putting all things behind you, knowing that they were meant for God's glory. Okay. And the best way for you to bring life to that situation and to turn it on its head is to use it as a testimony, because there's no testimony with no test. Okay. So thank you guys so much, man, for hopping on the live. I really appreciate y'all. I'm doing a 30-day fast. I'm saying a 30-day fast, but I mean a 30-day Prolessa challenge. If you guys do not know what that means, basically it's a transitioning kind of a fast. It's a way for you to transition from, what word would I use? Transition from a certain, say, eating narrative to a better narrative, right? You guys already know that I'm a spiritual life coach. I just told you that. I'm a spiritual life coach, and I am helping people eat better. Okay, I'm helping people learn to live a healthier, active lifestyle, and also to purify the vessel spiritually. Okay, purify the vessel not just spiritually, but also physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, because we don't get to that spiritual aspect until we actually start to purify the vessel physically. And that starts with our food, guys. I cannot express this enough. So with the 30-day Prolessa challenge, what this does is it helps you to transition. Prolessa is a hunger control product. It helps us to suppress our appetite, because a lot of times the things that we're eating, we're not even hungry for them. It's an emotional attachment to whatever the food is giving us, right? And so just the ability to identify what your emotions are telling you, because I said this just a moment ago, avoiding your emotions also means that your ability to love another is limited, because you're not even meeting yourself there. You're not even meeting your own emotions. You're not even meeting your own emotional needs. You are technically emotionally unavailable. I know y'all heard of that word before, emotionally unavailable. And so you may be wondering why you keep attracting emotionally unavailable people in your life, and it's because you haven't met yourself there yet. You're avoiding your own emotions. Instead, what you're doing is you're eating your emotions, and we wear that on the outside. So I'm teaching in my group and in my community, like, hey, you don't have to eat your emotions. In fact, you can talk about them, and you can talk about them. You can journal about them. God wants to know what you're going through. He cares about your emotions. He cares about what you feel. He cares about what you're thinking. He wants to be a part of your life. So you need to have and build this relationship with God. But first, what you need to do is you need to start paying attention to how you're abusing the very thing He's given to you for medicine. Food is medicine, but we abuse food. We abuse it. We abuse it. And so what Prolessa helps us do is to control our hunger. It suppresses our appetite so we can become more conscious of the food that we're intaking, so we can have an opportunity to slow that down. Once you slow that thought process behind the food down, you can really tap into what the emotion is that's sitting under there. That's sitting, it's a root, and it wants to be exposed, right? It wants to be healed, right? So it's a 30-day challenge. I'm doing it right now, signing up right now. I launched it yesterday. I mentioned it yesterday. The Prolessa is a 30-day program. You will receive coaching, one-on-one coaching. You'll receive a motivational group. It's 24/7 support, a whole bunch of like-minded individuals. You'll receive a grocery list, a snack list. You'll receive workouts, okay? You will receive the business. And you receive me, and I'm a privilege. Okay, I am a privilege. Okay, I am lovely. Okay, just so you know. And that's not me just being a witness of myself, but if you haven't had a chance, you can go on my page and you can see what my clients are saying about me and just the way that I make them feel. And again, it's not about man's validation, but just, again, like I said, about how you can make another person feel. Okay, so I love you guys. If you are interested in the 30-day Prolessa challenge, let your girl know. I definitely want to help support you on your journey. You're transitioning to healing and love and light and privilege. Okay, so thank you guys for hopping on, and thanks for sharing the video. If you have not already done so, please share so more people can get this message. It's important that we learn to have a better relationship with food, because that's really what I'm doing. I'm really, just tapping into the relationship that you have with food so you can get into the relationship that you have with yourself and the relationship that you have with God, all right? So one out, man. It's a Feel Good Friday. It's a powerful Friday. Let's go be powerful.